Welcome back, Pokemon fans. Angel of the Night 091 here, coming at you with a Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 Wi-Fi battle. Let that sink in for a moment. Yes, we are doing Black 2 and White 2, and my question for you guys today is, what year is it? It is the year 2023. As you guys know, the Nintendo Wi-Fi network was actually shut down for the Nintendo DS system years ago, and recently I covered a tutorial on how to get back onto an offline Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. Be sure to take a look at the link in the description below, as I am trying to revive Gen 5 Wi-Fi battles along with Gen 4 and all the previous generations. Over at Snowpoint Temple Discord, this is where I found this battle. We are up against the famous Retronyte. As you guys know, Retronyte is one of my good friends, and we've been spending a lot of time trying to figure out ways to do previous generation battles. As you guys like to know, he does kick at Retro, and that's exactly what we're doing today. We are actually going to be battling in Generation 5. Now, I'm a little bit behind in the actual commentary for the match, but as you guys can see, I did not swap in my Espeon to deal with them Stealth Rocks, and he's just roaring my entire team here. So we are currently in with Seth the Snorlax, and as you guys know, in Generation 5, I nicknamed all of my Pokemon with people names. That was something I did back in the day. It was kind of uncommon. Not many people nickname them with people names, but I did. Kind of unique. But here we go. We are coming in with our Espeon here, and of course, you know, with Espeon, I don't really have much that I can do to this Empoleon. As you guys know, in the past, Emma is a Calm Minding, Morning Sunning, Shadow Ball, Stored Power, Eevee Evolution. And with that being said, with Empoleon being a Steel type, it doesn't really help us out very much. Now, we did get a drop of statistics here onto the Empoleon. We activated Defiant. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I completely forgot that Empoleon had Defiant. That's something that just completely blows my mind. I never even thought in a million years that Empoleon would have Defiant. But then again, it is a very older generation, and I forget a lot about Gen 5, to be quite honest with you. I remember doing a lot of Wi-Fi battles back in the day, but quite frankly, I don't remember all of the ins and the outs that there used to be. We get a critical hit damage off onto us here, and Empoleon's just acting like there's nothing that can take it down. Poor Espeon, honestly, I really should have tried to get some sort of like a Calm Mind in to try to boost up some stats right away, but this Empoleon is just running wild. I don't really battle too many Empoleons, to be honest, and in the newer generations, of course, Empoleon's not necessarily around. So, unfortunately for us, we do get a KO on our side. We're going to come in with Lawrence the Zapdos. Now, when I brought in Zapdos here into the battle, one thing that I thought to myself is that, okay, I have choice specs. A Thunderbolt should be easily able to knock this thing out. However, I remember in the team preview that my opponent, Retro, actually has a Gliscor. Now, Gliscor, of course, you know, it's a ground flying type Pokemon, and it has the capability of Poison Heal. It's kind of a Pokemon that wreaks havoc all on its own. And if I go in for a Thunderbolt here, I am not going to be able to do any kind of a damage onto Gliscor if he ended up swapping in. So we ended up going for the Hidden Power Grass. Now, as you can see, we just barely get this Empoleon taken out before Lawrence is knocked out. And in comes a Latias. Now, Latias, of course, coming onto the field, we've got our Lawrence locked into a Choice Spec Hidden Power Grass. It's going to be not very effective, of course, as you can see, doesn't really do any damage to the Latias. And if I was really smart, I should have maybe swapped back out to my Snorlax. Seeing as how Snorlax is a physical attacker, his attack damage would be cut, of course, because of the Reflect, but it is a special defensive wall. And I probably should have swapped out here, but I did stay in with my Lawrence. Getting a little bit of chip damage off onto this Latias. I know that I have to get as much damage as possible off onto it. Unfortunately for us, we are going to lose our Zapdos here because I did not have a clean swap. As you guys know, with this team, there are Pokemon onto it, such as like Haxorus and Rhyperior, Simipour and Snorlax and whatnot. So, anyways, we end up swapping back into Ashley. I know that I'm actually going to be faster than Latias, so I'm going to go in for that good old Ice Beam here. We actually get a significant chunk of damage off onto it, and then of course we are going to go in and get hit by a Dragon Pulse. Now, many of you are fearing, okay, Corey, you're going to lose your Ashley here. Not a chance. You guys know that this Simipour is badass. We are going to live with just a sliver of health, and we're going to activate our Pitaya Berry. As you guys know, Pitaya Berry boosts our special attack stat, and that is going to allow us to finish off this Latias without any problems whatsoever. So down goes Retro's Latias here, and in comes Jellicent. Now, Jellicent, of course, is one of those Pokemon that can wall practically anything. So I ended up going in for a Grass Knot here, thinking to myself, okay, I have a really good special attack, but I've also got that Pitaya boost. Maybe the Grass Knot might be able to knock him out. Not a chance. Jellicent just completely walls Ashley, living with half hit points, and Ashley is going to go down. Now, the next part here is I've got to think to myself, what is going to be the best option for me? I only have 3 physical attackers here left, so I ended up going in with Seth. Now, the reason I went with Seth is because he can't use any kind of ghost type moves, but I have Pursuit. Now, here it is. There's the Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp coming in. I'm thinking to myself, okay, crap, I can't really swap out to Rhyperior. I can't swap out to Haxorus because I don't want to get that burn. So I'm just going to stay in here. I'm going to basically fodder off Seth to try to get as much damage as possible off onto this Jellicent. I want to get that Pursuit damage off onto him there, so that way we can maybe try to knock him out. And in comes the Recover. Retro. Ugh! Why'd you have to recover here? But here we go. Recovering, and of course we're going to continue to do our Pursuit. All in the meantime, we are losing health to our burn. Please someone give my Snorlax some aloe vera or something to try to heal it. Maybe some burn heal. You know, where's Blaine when you need him? But here we are. We are going to get hit by a Scald, and of course that is going to do some damage off onto our Snorlax. Only intensifying our burn. Not really. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have never ever commentated a Black 2, White 2 Wi-Fi battle or under. And the reason being is because of obvious reasons. Back in the day, I didn't do any kind of vocal commentary onto my videos. I actually branched off into that when I believe it was Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So this is something that's all new to me in trying to commentate these Pokemon, because quite frankly, I just haven't had the opportunity to do this, and I'm really excited to be able to commentate these battles in this generation. So we end up bringing in Isabelle. Now, as you guys know, Isabelle has brought me out of the worst situations and managed to always pull through. Now, here is the moment where Gliscor comes in. I'm thinking to myself, okay, knowing how I battled Unbeaten Gliscor or Zavi back in the day, you guys know that Gliscor usually tends to wall my Isabelle. Well, I ended up getting a good old Dragon Dance in here, and he ends up going for a Substitute. Now, of course, with the Substitute, it is going to be able to take a hit from the Haxorus here. So we got our 1 Dragon Dance boost, we got our Speed boost, our Attack boost. This is going to destroy the Substitute, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to survive a hit from this Gliscor. Because if I can, I'm going right in for that Outrage. You guys know that Outrage back in the day, there was really no major counters unless you had like a real good Steel-type Pokemon. Fairies didn't exist back then. So here we go, we've got our Outrage. In comes the massive damage. Love that animation. It was one of the most OG moves of its time. It is the GOAT, and unfortunately we were not able to knock out this Gliscor. Gliscor is like, nah man, I ain't having any of this, and survives with just a sliver of health. So at this time, the only thing we can do is bring in our last and final Pokemon, Rhyperior. Good old Rye and the Rhyperior. Now, He gets a little bit of stealth rock damage. That's okay. We are going to get hit by an earthquake. Now, this is kind of a key moment here because this takes away quite a bit of our health, and luckily we were able to get a Stone Edge. You guys are going to see why that earthquake was so important here a little later in that battle. But we are slowly taking out pokes on Retro's side. We've got 1 Pokemon remaining. He's got 2 remaining. He comes in with his Terrakion. Now I'm thinking to myself at this time, I'm like, okay, what can I do against this Terrakion? He's going to end up swapping out. Now, that's good because, quite frankly, I know I can handle a Ferrothorn. I'm going in for the substitute here. As you guys know, my Rhyperior is a sub-Focus Punch moveset. So, we are going to be able to get our substitute up. We're going to get a little bit of our leftovers here, and we are going to tighten our focus, which is going to be our Focus Punch into this Ferrothorn. Now, take note as to where our HP is here at this moment. Now, my Rhyperior is max HP. Now, this Focus Punch is a key moment in the battle. We are able to get this Ferrothorn knocked out in 1 hit. Now, this is at the point in the chat, you know, Retro's going like, man, what the heck? Like, I did not expect that. Like, that's insane. Like, you completely shocked me here. And you know what? Rhyperior used to actually take a lot of people aside and be like, hey man, I've got you. So anyways, we finish off the Ferrothorn with the Earthquake, and that is going to be able to tie up the game. Now, if my Rhyperior was at 100% health, I might have been able to live the next play here. In comes the Terrakion, and as you guys know, it does have the close combat. Now, close combat, of course, is going to be able to knock out Ryan with its current stage of health. So good game, Retro. Thank you very much for the battle. I look very forward to further battles with you and everyone else in the community. Take care, have a good one, and as always, peace out.